Okay, second coat is on, as you can see. I'm not feeling on the mold just in case it wasn't dry, so I feel inside the cup here and I can feel that stickiness, but it doesn't transfer the red onto my fingers, so I'm happy to carry on. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is put fillets in the corners and put a coupling coat on. We call it a coupling coat, which bonds the fabric to the gel coat nicely and also helps to prevent print through. Now obviously earlier I mentioned about putting 2 coats of gel coat also helps to prevent print through, and the reason for that is there's probably a 20-30 minute time between the first and the second coat of gel coat. So the first layer of gel coat is probably now about 45 minutes to an hour into its cure time already. So it is nice, getting nice and hard, which will also stop any fabric print through. But we will put the second coat of, we'll put the coupling coat on here, which will also help to prevent any print through. So I have mixed up some resin. This time I'm using Ampreg 30. It's just the resin that I have. It's a nice general purpose resin system. And I'm going to decant about half of it, or 3/4 of it, into a cup, keep a little bit, and add microfibers. Now this is going to be my coupling coat and my structural fillet in the corners and what have you. So I need a fairly thickish paste, and I'll put in a couple of spoonfuls until I think I've got enough. Might have to add more. We just mix this into the resin. It needs to be quite thick and goopy so that it doesn't run out of the corners when I put it into the corners. So I'll just keep adding and stirring and mixing. Now there are many different ways of doing this. I like to do it this way. Some people take the cotton and they put it into a little sieve, from a kitchen sieve, and sift it onto the surface. That's one way to put it into the gel coat. Other people actually mix it into the gel coat. I prefer to do it this way. It's probably just the way I've learned over the years. So as I say, there are many ways of doing it, but a coupling coat is number one to prevent print through more than anything. And also I'm now using this for the fillets. So I need to get this nicely mixed up. And make sure that I need a nice pasty type mix. Nearly there. Just a little bit more. I don't want it wet and slumpy. I want it sort of, I don't know, like peanut butter more or less, I would imagine. Again, I don't do any of this by weight. I just eyeball this. Over the years I've learnt what I like and what consistency I like. So sorry if I'm not being all that scientific, but it's like a good chef. They don't weigh things out, they just chuck it in. Right, so I think I'm quite nice pasty type consistency. And obviously I'm going to smear this first and foremost into this leading edge section, which is where the fabric will have a hard time getting right down into that 90-degree corner. Not that it's a hang of a 90-degree corner in such a small elevator, but still there is a corner there, and I don't want bridging of the fabric across that space. So a nice fillet of microfiber in there, and also be careful that you don't encapsulate any little air pockets, because that will be a disaster. Actually, I think I need a little bit more filler in here. Just a little bit more. And I'm working with a standard set epoxy system. It's not fast, but there's no period of waiting between this and when I start putting the fabric on. Alright, so that's now all the way around there. A nice fillet into that sharp, into that area where it came down and went out. I don't want the fabric to bridge across. Now I just need to go around the perimeter and smear some of this filler into this 90-degree corner of the mold, and that's basically just to make it nice and strong. It's not super critical, but it just makes it easier for the fabric to get around this corner. So I'm just going to carry on putting this all the way around. We'll stop the video now and we'll carry on once I'm finished and I'm starting to put the fabric on.